to monitor what might be going on in and around your property and your neighborhood. So basically, again, we like to say that this is there to help us, to help you. It's not to punish you. We're only going to count the written warnings, the arrests, the citations. The verbal warnings don't count. We want to help you solve the problem. So the only time that anyone's going to get billed or cited is if they just flat out don't want to work with us to solve the problems, to make it better, make life better for everybody involved. So again, contact the Community Services Department if you want to list the enforcement action at your property. We're happy to get that out to you. And you know, even if you become aware that you've got a problem with your property, call us. Let's talk through it. Let's even before you get to the point of us sending you out a warning. So, and then we have the Wisconsin drug abatement law, and Sergeant Rick's going to talk to you about that.
Go back just to the when the chronic nuisance was enacted in the city of La Crosse, there was obviously quite a bit of kickback from apartment owners, rental properties, and even some specific trucks. I think it was hyped up to think that we're going to be issuing a lot of citations, and actively, there's going to be a lot of fines going up. Well, since it was enacted in 2011, the number's been very small. I think there's been 6 citations issued since then. We're monitoring these numbers. This is within that year period. You know, we're looking at the type of calls. The criteria is very specific of what is considered an enforcement action. So we're seeing properties where we do go out there for a lot of calls, but they don't meet the criteria that actually meets the criteria to issue a citation and start billing the property owner. So I think we've got over that hump pretty good. One other thing, in your packets, this PowerPoint, this information is in that. And then again, you can always contact our Community Services Bureau if you have any questions. But one thing, you know, as property owners, use that crime reports. You can go on there, you can look at for calls in your neighborhood. And if you think it's going to, when you look at crime reports, it's not going to tell you the exact address of the type of calls going on. But if you think it's your property, give us a call. We'll find out. And there's also ways to set up with that crime reports of calls in your neighbors. You can set those up and you get emails back that say, hey, there was a call in this block. Your tenants may want to know about that feature also, to know what's going on with the thefts, burglaries, whatever. It's a real good information, both for the property owners and for the tenants that are in. Is there any questions on this chronic nuisance? You know, like I said, there was a lot of feedback, that when we tried to have this implemented, we adopted from some of the other cities in the state of Wisconsin. It's working pretty well for us, and it's just more to get the property owners aware that a lot of times they don't even know the calls are going to their addresses. And you know, all of a sudden, hey, we got these 3 or 4 calls there. They meet the criteria. Come in and talk to us, and you know, we're going to work out a program. We don't want to issue citations. We don't want to be billing property owners. We want to correct the problem. Go ahead.
What are some of the corrective plans that you developed?
You were involved with.
It depends on what's going on at the property. We developed one plan for a landlord where they had a tenant that I think has some mental illness going on, some other things. And we were going to have somebody from the Salvation Army coming in too, but they actually have a program now. They hired a person under a grant that is going to be the liaison between clients. And you guys can refer your people to this program too, it's my understanding. But if they're, a lot of times they don't have a caseworker, so this person is going to work with them and work with you to keep them in the apartment and to not, you know, have them calling the police all the time, because that's a lot of times what's happening with you. We have, in that particular instance, it was somebody with mental illness and was constantly calling and having problems, and we help them kind of work that through. But it depends on what the problem is. We can talk to tenants, we can have meetings.
Yeah, you know, maybe the landlord started a eviction notice on that. I mean, you're trying to our suggestion was join the Landlord Association.
Oh, at a meeting,
Went
it's
out
not
to
even heard.
the other one did, and that person has thousands of dollars of points.
Okay.
Suggestions on this ordinance? Because I think there's one.
We will, but obviously, if you remember the process, it was, through council.
I think there's one step that's missing, and it is, as a landlord, if 3 qualified calls get made to one of my apartments, and the first I hear about it is a letter from the police department, to me, I think that's a step missed. There should have been something where the landlord was contacted prior, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna have them come in. Right? If I get a letter, the next step is to come into a meeting.
After 3, we give you just a warning, a notice to let you know this is what's going on.
Okay, so that step is in there, then I misunderstood this.
Yep.